Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Sidelines Unite team call. It's November 20, the weekend before Thanksgiving, and we have so much to be thankful for because we have this gift of Arbonne in our lives. And so the Sidelines call, you guys, is so that we can pool our strengths and really just come together. That's the spirit of Arbonne. That's the culture of Arbonne, is that there's no competition. We just, help each other and support each other because none of us have gone to school to be network marketers. So this is the way we learn. And I just want to applaud you for getting on tonight and pouring into yourself. So we have a special guest, and I have to tell you, I have really been anticipating this night because Sara is one of my favorite people. I just love her dearly. And it was like we were drawn like magnets to each other when we first met, because our stories are just really similar. We started Arbonne around the same time, and we both have had quite a few, personal tragedies and things that we've had to face and overcome in our lives. And Sara is one of the happiest people you'll ever meet. You would never know all the stuff that she's been dealing with. And it is a true honor, Sara, to have you on tonight, because she's 36 weeks pregnant, you guys. And we squeaked this call in before giving birth. And so with everything else that you have going on, Sara, it is a true honor. So Sara is a regional vice president, and she promoted right around the same time that I did. And so we were standing in line, and we got to know each other when we walked the stage together, and we've been friends ever since. And so I can't wait for all of you to have that same experience of just meeting people, who are in your same stage of growth in Arbonne. It's just the best. It's just such an honor because Arbonne attracts such high caliber people, and so you end up with all of these amazing high caliber friends. So I love you, Sara. Thank you so much for being on all the way from Green Bay. We appreciate you and just can't wait to hear from you. So take it away.
All right. Yay. Thank you, Tammy. And I love you so much. It's obviously everything you said is spot on. And that was something magical that happened that year at GTC when we got to meet. And like you said, everybody just coming together at that same stage in our businesses. And we were just totally magnets to one another. And like you said before, kindred spirits, I just really value our friendship and really admire you in the business. And I just really enjoy you, Tammy. You're amazing. So love you. And I'm excited to be on this call. And it was really fun putting my thoughts together to share with you guys tonight. So I have my notes here, so don't mind that I'm, kind of referring back and forth to them and whatnot. But basically, my name is Sara Vander, Heyden. I've been with Arbonne for 12 years, so I've been a consultant for a really long time. I absolutely love everything about Arbonne. I always say to people, we only make time in our lives for the things that are really important to us. And I view sharing Arbonne as one of the top three things in my life that I need to be doing on a regular basis for sure. So I absolutely love it. So a little bit more about myself. I was introduced, well, actually I should back up. I'm married. We are expecting. I have a very large baby belly rocking right now, and got all this beautiful swelling going on through here. I just love the zoom angle. It makes it even prettier. But that's okay. We're excited. We're anticipating our baby right around Christmas, and it's just an exciting time. My husband and I have been married for about a year and a half. And I first came into this business, my sister actually introduced me to Arbonne. And when she did, I didn't want anything to do with it. She had introduced me by inviting me to her launch party that she was going to be having to kick her business off. And my first response was, why are you doing that? What are you doing, that business for, that kind of thing. I was 26 years old at the time. But I went to her party just to support her. And I was blown away by the message of Arbonne, as you all can probably relate to. And I was, secretly struggling with all kinds of skin issues myself, allergies and eczema and whatnot. And I just was blown away with obviously the results. So I got into Arbonne because of the products. And it was the people that ended up getting me to stay for so long, obviously, in addition to the products. This is something that I never, ever saw myself doing, as a lot of us can relate to too, but it has been absolutely life-changing and transforming. in every capacity, that is for sure. So I signed on as a consultant in 2004, and I decided to do the business in 2006. It was May 12th of 2006 when I decided, and I've never looked back. Like I said before, it's been my consistent positive. And when I jumped in, it was with both feet, no matter what. And you know what happened? 7 years went by. And in those 7 years, before I decided to go region, my life took a lot of ups and downs. I had owned a business back in the mid 2000s, and I actually, when the economy tanked in 2008, I lost my business. I lost everything. I had to file bankruptcy and basically start from scratch. Was still so committed to my Arbonne business, and that is really when Arbonne revealed itself to me in such a grander way. The culture really saved me. That I turned to Arbonne for my support. It didn't matter that I was, barely a district manager. I had been an area manager, and I demoted back down to DM in that time. And so I've definitely seen ups and downs in my business. But it was the culture. It was, Executive National Vice President Donna Johnson, and my upline RVP at the time, Lisa Konchak, absolutely amazing support. Didn't matter that I wasn't bringing in the big sales. They wrapped their arms around me and let me know everything was going to be okay, And I'll never forget, I still have the card that Donna sent me with a Bible verse in it, and it just meant the world to me. So I went through those hard times, and in that downtime in my life, I found myself in a not so pleasant relationship, and stayed there for 3.5 years because my self-esteem was just down and whatnot. And I was trying so hard to work my business in and among the time that I could at that point, because he was so unsupportive of me. And I'm just going to share this, and I really wasn't going to, but my husband actually told me that I should. There was a time I remember sitting in and maybe some of you can relate. I was sitting in my office at where I lived, in the house that we lived in at the time, and I was working my Arbonne business. I was really, really working hard, getting a lot of stuff done. And he came in the door and he said, "If you haven't earned that Mercedes by now, you never will. So I don't know what you're doing." And I just remember sitting there. This was probably 2010, I want to say. Anyway, I left him shortly after that. And started, yeah. And I'll never forget that. And I shared that at my car presentation during the training and whatnot. So if you have anybody out there in your life that's not supportive, just know that it's all within you, and you can make those decisions, and just do it anyway. Persevere and push on, and it's all a matter of what's inside of you. That's for sure. So don't listen to the naysayers. That's definitely not going to serve you. So I moved on in my life, and I'll fast forward a little bit because my story goes on because it's so many years. But it was in October of 2013 that I decided enough was enough. I was going to go ahead and make this, regional vice president thing happen. I wanted to figure out how to do it, and so that I could show that it could be done, and then I could turn around and show other people how to do it. And I wanted to start this beautiful commotion and just really show people that there's hope and there's a new path, and really choose to encompass all the things that Arbonne can offer for people that we always hear about, and that we see other people doing. I wanted to bring that to my hometown here, Green Bay, because it had been a while since somebody had promoted to that level in this area. So I got up the nerve to approach Donna Johnson at a Discover Arbonne that was happening about a half hour from my town. My sponsor is my sister, and she kind of fell away from her business, and then my upline at RVP kind of took a step away from her business. So the only person I had left to reach up to was Donna. So I just tapped her on the shoulder at the meeting, and I said, "Donna, I mean it. I want this. I want to go region. I want to figure this out." And she said, "Oh, Sara, you've been so stuck. I would love to help you." And so I started training with Donna that October 2013. We did our first training call, coaching call. She called me from Sweden, actually, and we did our first training. And that was really pivotal in my business. And I just remember sitting there on the call with her, and everything that she was coaching me to do scared me so much. Everything was just so scary. But I wrote it all down, and I'm like, I'm going to do this. These are big goals. I can make this happen. And that was a really, really big inflection point for me in my business, where I'm like, okay, this is happening. No matter what, this is happening. So, with Donna's coaching every single month and through each month, we did go into regional vice president qualifications the following October. So I was an executive district manager that October 2013, and October 2014, I went into quals for region, and then we finished up on New Year's Eve. So that is how we went region, and it was amazing, just the beautiful commotion that started once I decided, and I held myself accountable to my goals. And it just completely turned my whole business around. And like Tammy always says, and we say in Arbonne, what you track will grow, and that's exactly what I was doing. I was tracking my business, and I continue to do that every single month. What am I doing? What are my goals? Okay, now I have my goals. What is my strategy to achieve those goals? And really holding myself accountable, and holding myself accountable, not so much my team, because it all starts with you. And so it's obviously a service we want to do for our teams, to do the goal setting and assessment. It's critical for you in order to help them to make their businesses grow. But at the end of the day, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. So you want to make sure that you are keeping yourself busy in your own business. So I'm just looking at my notes here quick to make sure that I'm not missing anything. I did go through that period with a no matter what attitude. So, and I'll get to some other points later on that really helped me through that whole mindset. So it's funny because we promoted to region, and you think, okay, like, all right, everything's good to go. We're region. It's an amazing, magical time. It's just like the clouds are parting and the angels are singing, and and then comes impact again. Life has a funny way of getting you to a really good spot, and then things kind of go crazy on you again, right? So it was in 2015, Sean and I were planning our wedding, which was the following July of 2015. And I remember that spring being like, gosh, everything is going so good. I hope nothing bad happens. And it was a month before our wedding that I got the call that my mom was diagnosed with limited stage small cell lung cancer. She was living down in Nashville, and with my sister and her husband and their 4 kids. And so a month before the wedding that happened, and we had to cancel some of our planning for the wedding and whatnot, and I had to go down to Tennessee and make arrangements to help get my mom back up home here to Green Bay. And then that just kind of has continued to be ongoing since that time. So she's here home now, and my sister moved back also, which is awesome. And we continue to caregive for mom every week, every day. And we're just really grateful to still have her with us and whatnot. But I was so grateful at that time for my Arbonne business, of course, because, you say that, build it before you need it, prepare for impact, you hear all these things, but then when it actually happens in your life, you're like, whoa, I'm really, really grateful that I did that, and even if you're in the middle of an impact in your life, build it now, make it a priority, make it an everyday priority to persevere with your business. So we kind of got through that. I restarted my business after Donna's Green Bay leadership retreat, because I did take a couple of months off between getting mom settled, and then we had our wedding, and all this going on at the same time. So I re-kicked it, and we were just awesome all year. And then there's been some other crazy things that have happened. There's been legs of my team that haven't worked out. They've decided to go in different directions, and that's all okay. That's the glory of this business. People can come and go as they want. You're nobody's boss, and they have that freedom to build their own businesses in whichever way they want. But always having that mindset of perseverance, believing in, and this is what's really helped me through all these different, hills and valleys and whatnot in my business, but believing in why I do Arbonne, that's never wavered. In all of these years that I've been with Arbonne, I have never wavered from my belief in what Arbonne can do for me and my family and the families of all kinds of people that I know and that I don't know yet. And so I believe in the reason why I do Arbonne. I believe in Arbonne as a company. And I know in my heart of hearts that what we are doing is providing an increase in not only my life, but the lives of others. So I keep my eye on that gold star that I hold Arbonne at. It's just a gold star. You know, it's something that anybody can hold and really open up that avenue of hope. So you need to press on no matter what. So, so now here we are again. You know, we're just a few weeks away from meeting our baby, and we've got a lot of other things going on. And so, you know, it's interesting. I wrote down some tips that I kind of had in mind that I've learned along the way that have helped me to stay the course. And so, you know, with all the different distractions and things that come into play in our lives, you know, it's good to have some tips to help you along the way. So I've learned that you really need to adapt your business to the changing times of your life. So your book of business, it's okay for you to realize and embrace the fact that your book of business is not going to look the same month to month and year to year. Your business is going to change. You have to change with the changing times. You know, there's all kinds of ways that we can reach out to people with Arbonne, and I've had super successful months where I didn't even have any parties, but I had a lot of one-on-ones, you know, and I've had a lot of referrals and things like that. So these are some different things that you can kind of keep in mind, you know, because you've got your events and then you need to fill in the nooks and crannies of when you do not have events. So of course we have our one-on-ones that we can do. Something that I really love to do, and I was talking to Tammy about, are my my pamper bags or my goodie bags. And this is something that I really, really have embraced. And it's basically just, I literally just put my favorite items that from Arbonne in a little bag, and I think of people that I'm super grateful for, and I gift them with a little bag. And I say, you know, that meant so much to me that you did that for me. I want to pamper you with my favorite items from Arbonne. I know you know I do Arbonne, but these are some of my favorite things, and I don't know if you've ever tried them before, and I'd love to get your feedback on some of these items. So I do the goodie bags, pamper bags, gratitude bags. I do those all the time. And that really helps to show your gratitude for people, obviously. And then it helps to kind of get the word out on some different products. You know, if you're looking to expand your market and you're not sure, if you have somebody in mind, you're not sure how to get the products in their hands for them to really, you know, have that experience. That's a great way to do it. We do a lot of group events on my team, and this is something that we do every single month. I know Tammy and I have talked a lot about the makeup events that we do. I have been doing the makeup events every single month for 3 years. I've never missed one. And that is what we do is I do a makeover on a model, and then each consultant is welcome to bring about 3 or 4 guests. And then they bring all their makeup, the consultant brings their makeup, and then each guest has the opportunity to follow along with a live presentation of the makeup demonstration. And so it's a really fun girls' night, hands-on experience with all of our color. It's great because we don't really cover our color too much, you know, in our core presentations where we're talking about our flagship lines. So we always do our makeup event. That's our girls' night out. We always do our healthy living event. And then we always do, of course, our region meeting, our multi-region meeting. So I'm a firm believer in the group events. And then, of course, the home parties and the event and home parties and healthy happy hours within people's homes, you know. But these other things, you know, the gratitude bags and the one-on-ones, you know, and whatnot, those are all things that you can do to kind of fill in the nooks and crannies of your calendar when you don't have as many events as you would like. And then those different reach out methods can lead to events on your calendar. So you guys are all familiar with that. And I found too with adapting myself in my business, and it's funny because I have this, I love her. Her name is Ruth. She's on my team. She's become a dear friend of mine. And we sat down to do our first coaching, and I was training her on calling people to set up parties and events. And she's like, well, why wouldn't I just text them? And I said, well, it's good to have that, you know, that actual, you know, voice-to-voice communication. She's like, but my friends don't answer the phone. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe we need to text them then. And you know what? She texted out and she got a bunch of parties via texting. And so that was a really good learning moment for me, being 39 years old and she's 27, that it's okay to text. So I've started to text people too to book events and whatnot, and it works great. So that was a big, adaptation moment for me in my business. It's like, okay, I need to adapt with the times. I don't necessarily need to call everybody. You can text and, whatever the best reach out method is for that person. So I know it's just a small little tidbit, but that was a growth point for me. So something else I've learned along the way is that you need to be consistent in everything that you do with your business. So, and this is something too, I want to kind of back up. When I promoted to region, because I meant to say this before and I didn't say it, I picked up the Mercedes, and it was a cold winter evening. I picked it up with my dad and my husband, and I got in the car and I suddenly got this overwhelming feeling of, this means nothing. This means absolutely nothing unless I'm able to show somebody else how to do this. They can literally take it back. Like, I don't want it. And I always say to people too, if it were about a car and, the paycheck and all of that, I would have quit years ago. And it was truly the community and the family that everybody in Arbonne has become to me through these years that has kept me in this business, And obviously, Arbonne has always represented freedom to me. Not obvious to you guys, obvious to me. It's always represented freedom and hope. And I love the idea of not being under anybody's thumb and being able to forge my own path. And that is what's kept me in for all these years. And when people decide to take a step back from Arbonne or not, stay as active, and whatnot, I'm like, that's okay, because that's their journey. And the door is always open, and I make sure that they know that. So, because I'm always going to be here. I'm always going to be here. So, it's a big, wide armed welcome, whenever they want to come back. And the amazing team that we have that has stayed through the years it's just, we're all family, So that I never saw coming when I went to my sister's launch party in 2004. That's for sure. I had no idea how this was going to impact the rest of the trajectory of my whole life. But anyway, so just getting back to my notes here and the things I've learned along the way. Let's see here. So being consistent in everything that you do. So this encompasses a lot of different things. So, and this is never going to look perfect, right, Tammy? We'd just rather have it done than be perfect, right? So following up, for me is peppered into my day. We have to work our businesses every day in order to, achieve the goals that we want to achieve with it and to help people in the manner that they deserve to be helped. So I like to follow up with my clients, and maybe you guys have heard this before, but it's kind of the rule of threes. So I like to follow up with people 3 days after they receive their products to make sure everything's okay, they got everything's good to go. I like to follow up 3 weeks after they got their products to see how everything is going after using the products for an extended amount of time. And then I like to follow up 3 months after just to see if they're ready for reorders and just to let them know that I care. So I do a lot of care calls to my clients, and I've left a lot of voicemails to people because they may not necessarily answer. But what's so great about that is that they are always comfortable calling me. They'll call me up like they've talked to me a million times, because they kept hearing my voice on their voicemail. And that's proven to be super helpful in the years of doing my business. Just to leave those voicemails, and I'll do that every single month. I'll just go through my clients. Hey, just checking in, making sure everything's going okay with your products. If there's anything that I can help you with, please let me know, and just leave it at that, because then they feel more loyalty to you. If they end up at somebody else's Arbonne party, it's like, well, I have my consultant, Sara, she always leaves me voicemails, and it's just proven to be super important through the business. Other things to be consistent with, of course, is your personal growth and development. We always hear that. You need to show up. You need to go to meetings. You need to get on calls like this. We need to be at GTC. We need to be wherever we can be, wherever the meetings are happening. Always be there. Unless obviously for some reason you can't. But I make it a non-negotiable in our family calendar that if I have an Arbonne event, whether it be a meeting or a group activity or whatnot, I have to be there. It's a non-negotiable. And because we always say on our team, and maybe you guys say this too, either you need the meeting or the meeting needs you. It's one or the other for sure. So the other thing I was going to say is being consistent with the group events that you do facilitate. If you guys do a healthy living program, or if you do a makeup night or whatnot, I have the mentality, and I've always had this mentality, my team knows this, I never cancel. I cancel nothing. And I have the mentality of build it and they will come. And even if there's only a couple of people at an event, a group event, I continue to have those events because I really truly believe that, you know, you need to show that consistency because that edifies you in your business. So that is something that has proven to be very, very much worthwhile through the years. And then just being consistent to booking out my next 2 weeks. So I'm always looking at my next 2 weeks in my calendar. Okay, what does it look like? Like that's where I need to start, is within my next 2 weeks. So being consistent and focusing on those 2 weeks to get them as booked out as I possibly can. So another thing that I have learned along the way is to joyfully blur the line between you and your life and you and Arbonne. It's all the same, you know. So when you're out and about and people are like, oh, what have you been up to? What's going on? Like, oh, I'm super busy with Arbonne. You know, I've got this going on and whatnot. With me in my life, everybody who knows me knows that I do Arbonne, and that's just a natural, organic part of all of our conversations. It's never a wonder of, oh, how do I bring up Arbonne in a conversation? Well, no, because that's part of who I am. So it organically always is coming up because I'm very, very proud to be a part of this company. So that's something to keep in mind, and hopefully that will help you too. So can kind of work on if you struggle with that, you know, just kind of think of it in those terms. You know, blur the line between yourself in your regular life and Arbonne life. It's all the same. Let's see here. So another thing that I've jotted down: understand that it takes time to cultivate real relationships, and we want real relationships. You know, I'm definitely one that I really love people, and I want people. I always say I'm like a puppy. It's like I just want to be friends with everyone. That's the way that I am, and I genuinely mean that with all of who I am. And so, because I'm becoming friends with people, Arbonne will naturally happen. And you know, it's never something that's been something that's forced. It's always been organic, and we are in this business to find the fit, right? So either it's a fit or it's not, or maybe it's not a fit right now, but it'll be a fit down the road, or maybe we'll just be great friends and you'll never care for Arbonne, and that's okay too, you know. But when you're looking to grow your business and grow yourself as a person, you know, we are in a people-to-people business, so it's important to cultivate those real relationships and to be patient. And then, you know, as you get to know new people in your life, then you can be like, gosh, it's so great that I'm so grateful that we've been able to become closer and cultivate this relationship. I put together a few of my favorite things from my favorite company that I work with called Arbonne. I can't wait for you to go ahead and give these products a try, because I love them. They made a big difference in my life. I can't wait to hear how you love them too. You know, so you can have those organic relationships. Something else, you know, just be patient, be a friend first, and just always circling back to, you know, we're in it to be to help people. You know, we're sharing Arbonne because it helps people, not because you really want to get to, you know, DM this month or AM. It's good to have those goals, but you have to have that sense of patience too, because everything comes right on time. Let's see here. Oh, and this is what, circling back to what Tammy always says, rather have it done than be perfect, you know. And the time that I carve out to do my business does not always look perfect. Sometimes it's happening in the car. Sometimes it's happening while I'm making dinner. Sometimes I still do about 5 days a month of video production. That's my background, is in video production. I'm an on-camera stylist, so I make sets look pretty for on-camera TV commercials and stuff like that. So I still do about 5 days a month because I love it. It's what I went to college for, and I have a lot of friends in the industry. And so, you know, sometimes I'm working when I'm on set, you know, and on my phone. That's what makes, you know, having a business we can run with Wi-Fi so great, is you can just run it from your phone. But just peppering it in. So what I do at the beginning of every day is I make a move list, you know, basically a to-do list, but I call it a move list. And I have everything written down that I want to get accomplished that day in my business. And it's so exciting to cross things off. But when you commit things to paper, then it's out of your head and you don't feel overwhelmed, you know. So make sure that you're writing those to-do lists, because once you have that, you feel very empowered and on top of it. And, you know, it's okay if things need to get moved to the next day if it didn't happen. But if you've got that to-do list staring at you and in front of you, you're far more apt to make things happen in your business than you would if you didn't have the list. Okay, so very, very important, very huge thing to do. Make sure you stay on top of that. And I can tell you, I think Donna Johnson has made a to-do list every single day for the last 29 years in her business. So it certainly has helped her do a lot of great things. So make sure that you're doing that. And, you know, if the day gets away from you, you're like, I didn't get it done. Why don't you make a list of all the things? Maybe you didn't make your to-do list, but write down everything you got done that day, and that'll make you feel better, you know, and then the next day is a fresh start and you can start over with your to-do list. But just know that it's not going to be perfect, but if we were to wait for it to look perfect, it's never going to happen. I love what Rita Davenport always used to say. She'd always say, ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice, right? So you just run with it. Just go, you know, make the mistakes and learn as you go. It's okay. It's all good. It's all coming from a great place in your heart. This is something that really turned my business around too, because in Arbonne, obviously we are all entrepreneurs. And so we have to work our businesses when we don't want to, when it's not convenient for us, right? And that can be tricky for some people that are coming into Arbonne, and maybe it's more of a convenience factor of like, oh, you know, if it works out and, you know, when I have the time, you know, I'll do this and whatnot. And, you know, it's not going to work if you do it that way. I've learned. You really need to be diligent and work Arbonne when you don't feel like it. I know it wasn't that long ago. I wasn't feeling good, you know, and I didn't want to make my calls, but I did it anyway. And it ended up, I got together with an old friend and she did all of her Christmas shopping with me. It was crazy. Off of that one phone call I made when I was feeling sick, and it was the end of the day and it was the last call I had to make, and it could have been easy for me to not do it. But, you know, she was so grateful because she got all of her Christmas shopping done. And I mean, that was a huge chunk of volume, you know, and I was able to help a friend, and it was just all a win-win-win. So, you know, it really pays off when you stay really dedicated to your business and be making sure that you're working it when you don't feel like it. And sometimes it can go like that for meetings too. You may not feel like going to a region meeting or a nation meeting or something like that, but you have to go. You have to be there. You have to show up. You know, that's part of the deal. Something else that I've learned along the way, and kind of, I think I'm getting close to my closing, which is good because we're past a half hour. Be diligent, patient, and on purpose. Stay the course. You know, the definition of being diligent is to show you care, you know, about the work that you do, you know. So being diligent, staying committed, and caring about what you're doing, caring about the people that you're trying to help with the products and with the opportunity. You know, we always hear it in Arbonne, you know, this, when you realize it has nothing to do with you, that's when all the magic happens, you know. So just know that when you're going out to do events or when you're going to make those calls, I mean, the end game here is helping another person, you know. So keeping that in mind and being diligent to that purpose, and being a servant, having a servant's heart moving forward always, is what matters most. And it takes that all that pressure that we may build up on ourselves of like, oh, what are they going to think? And then, you know, all that kind of stuff takes it all away, because it's not about you. It's not about you at all. Okay. So just being diligent and showing other people that you care. And that's, you know, that goes for both the people on my team and all of my clients, you know, so, and then everybody else in my life, obviously, as well. And then being patient. This business takes time. And I know I've said that a few times through sharing with you guys tonight. But you need to build up from a solid foundation, and this will ensure a rock solid business. So that is really, really critical. Let's see here. Now I lost my place. Here we go. So having that rock solid foundation, because then what happens is if, you know, even a sign or, you know, even the slightest sign of impact or a storm or whatnot, you have that solid foundation. Your house isn't made out of sticks. Your business isn't built up from the ground with sticks. You know, you have that solid foundation. So making sure that you're being patient and building the right way in your business is so critical. and just staying true to the course. That's for sure. So, and it's also great too, because if you have that solid foundation, maybe your business, you know, takes a step backwards or something like that happens. It's okay. You have that solid foundation. You've already built that. You can build it again, you know, and build your first floor or your second floor of your house again, because you've already built that solid foundation and you know how to do this business well, instead of building it too fast and then not having it be sustainable. So in closing, just a couple of last thoughts. Remember that your dreams are worth the effort and the time that it takes to achieve them. So we always, I know you have all heard this before, but we always overestimate what we can do in a short amount of time and underestimate what can happen in a longer amount of time, you know? So sometimes people come into Arbonne and they want everything right away, and that's just not how it works. You know, to build a strong, sustainable business, you need to believe in yourself, be patient, give it the time, invest in yourself with trainings, and, you know, be coachable with your upline, making sure that you're doing your due diligence to do your goal setting, and really following through with the actions that you've set in place for yourself. And just really remembering that your dreams are worth it. And so let it take the time that it's going to take. You know, the time's going to pass no matter what. So make sure that you're holding your dreams in that high regard that they belong in. Let's see here. Don't give up on yourself, or all the others out there that you would have been able to help aren't going to be able to be helped because you gave up. So think of all the people that you could have helped and you didn't, because you decided that it was too hard, you know? So don't let yourself down, and don't let all those people that you don't even know down, you know? So I know Tammy was sharing this last week when we were chatting on another call, and just like, it's so exciting to think of all the people that you have yet to meet in your business that you're going to be able to help, and who you're going to meet today or tomorrow or this week, or, you know, that's another really exciting thing about this business. Like, oh my gosh, who am I going to meet today that I'm going to be able to help? It's so cool. And I just want to close with this quote from ENVP Valerie Edwards that I absolutely love. It says, "Your legacy is not your dream. It's the next generation of dreamers that your dream inspires." And so that's just something really cool. I'll read that again. Your legacy is not your dream. It's the next generation of dreamers that your dream inspires. That's your legacy. So I think that's just really powerful. Again, it's all about that ripple effect. So I could talk to you guys for like an hour about my journey. There's so many details I left out, but my gosh, it's been such an honor. Tammy, thank you so much for inviting me. I hope I did okay for you guys. I'm definitely very transparent right now. I think it's all the hormones being so pregnant, but I'm not sure. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've certainly enjoyed being on with you, and this has just been wonderful. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. Do you mind taking a couple questions?
Sure.
All right. Go for it, Melinda.
Okay. So thank you for your hormonal situation, because it was beautiful. I have 3 questions.
Okay.
So the pamper bags, are they full-size products? Are they like, this is my favorite product right now. I'm not going to give this away, but I'll let someone try it. So what is it you're doing?
Honestly, they're samples. They're not full-size products.
They're samples.
Yeah, so I just buy little cute bags, and I put in all of my favorite products. So I will put in I'll put each fizz stick in, and I'll print out a Meet the Product and stick those to the Meet the Product. I'll put in the protein. I'll put in an RE9 sample. I'll put in the Tiffany Blue Contouring Lifting RE9 products. I put in the mascara. I put in the Renewing Body Gelée because I love that product. So I literally make it, I make it all about my favorite products, and they're just little samples. And then I write a thank you card, and I tell them what I'm grateful for that they've done, you know, that I want to let them know about. And then I put a bow on it, and a lot of times I surprise people with it. They don't know that it's coming. So I'll go to their place of work, or, you know, I'll say, hey, let's get together. I have something for you. I just want to drop it off quick. You know, I want to surprise you. And then I make it really fun, you know, because it is fun. So that's what I do.
I love that. Okay. So I everyone here probably knows I struggle with paralyzing perfectionism. Totally. Like I want to find like the best script, the best way to do whatever, but whatever. So my question to you, and then I've got Tammy as my upline, and she's like, the wind's blowing this way, right? Whatever. It's good.
It's gonna be fine. Just love on people. It's all good.
So, where do you hold your makeup events and your happy, healthy hours, or every month? Do you have a set place? What do you do?
I do. There's a hotel in town that I've been able to get to work with me, price-wise. And it's a nice hotel. They have a nice bar, especially on our girls' night if people want to go get a glass of wine. You know, it's not just like a random stuffy, like, continental breakfast room at some, motel or something like that. It's a nice room. And the regular rate on the room, I think, is like $200, and I got them down to $70 because I'm only there for 2.5 hours, and it's evening when they usually don't have anybody there anyway, so because they can still book out their day and then have me there at night. And so, that's what we do. We've been having our events at the same location now. I mean, this is our biggest room we've been in. And we were in some other really nice hotels and smaller rooms, but we grew into this room, and now we've been in this room for about 2 years doing events. So it is the same every month.
Okay. And that's the same with your happy, healthy hour, or your, okay, I'm sure
Yep.
you call it
And
something.
it's part of the consistency. That way everybody knows, like, well, it's going to be at the Spring Hill Suites because that's where it always is.
And it's a weeknight, right? Mm-hmm. Or is it a weekend?
Weeknight. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the makeup event, sometimes in the winter months, we'll do on a Saturday morning. But okay. Saturday mornings don't work in the summer because everybody leaves for the weekend, so we try to adapt, throughout the year. And so usually weeknights, but sometimes Saturday mornings.
And weeknights, do you start at 6:30, 7 o'clock? What do you?
We do. Yep. 6:30, 6:30 for our makeup and 6:30 for wellness. Region meeting starts at 7, but mix and mingle starts at 6:45.
And how do you track your clients? Do you use a client service manager system, or do you use paper, or do you have a shoe box?
I have a file. So most of the people that I am talking to are preferred clients. You follow up with clients, and sometimes either they become preferred clients or they just fall away into the oblivion. You know what I mean? So a lot of times I'll just rely on the team reports, and I have a really good memory when it comes to who I'm following up with. So I'll make notes, like I'll make a special, like a different list. Like, okay, I called this person, left a message, called this person, and the time. So it's kind of a log in a file that I have. And then I'll refer back to team reports, especially when I have a bunch of new people to add. But I'm not very good at paperwork. I'm very good at hands-on and people and things like that. So I've never gotten myself too wrapped up in the details of the organization of it all. Okay. And I always admire people that are really good at that, because that's not me.
Well, it's working for you, whatever you're doing. So, okay.
Yeah, well, that's literally what I'm doing. And if I need a reminder, I'll just go to the team reports and be like, oh, that person, I didn't write them down. So.
Right. And so that's what I used today, was the team reports. But okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'd love to see a little picture of your gratitude bag, if you will share it with Tammy. Just, sure. I don't know,
Yeah. I'd be happy to.
I think that's great. So
good.
Thank you. And good luck and congratulations. Do you know if you're having a boy or a girl?
We didn't find out.
Oh, you people. I had to know.
I know. We didn't find out. It's been very exciting, and I love the color gray, so the nursery's gray. Oh, yeah. It all worked out. No, it's exciting though. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So Sara, I know Donna has been asking you to record your makeup events, but you could Facebook live stream it.
I could
do that so we could watch one sometime.
Yes, I certainly could do that. And I know Donna is wanting me to do that soon. So I'll keep you posted because it might be in the next couple of weeks before I have the baby. But then for sure, if it doesn't happen after the baby comes, then we'll do it. Because I know for our makeup event in December, I have 2 team members that are going to be doing it just because I didn't want to commit and then be in the hospital. You know what I mean? So we have a backup plan for December. But yes, for sure, we need to do that. Donna's been bugging me forever to do that, and you have to, Tammy, and it's good. So I need you guys to hold my feet to the fire, make it happen.
I love, well, this was your quote to me sitting at the region luncheon when we all promoted and at GTC, and you said, Tammy, you are leaving a ton of money on the table by not doing makeup events. And I was like, oh, I need to know about this.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're awesome.
Well, can you share a little bit? Like, how many people do you usually have, or what is, you talk a little bit about the Arbonne difference, and then you get into the makeup. Like, do you do, is it sort of like a DA rolled into talking about makeup and doing someone's face?
Mm-hmm. Anytime I get in front of a group of people, it turns into a DA.
Okay, perfect.
So for sure, and actually the December makeup event Donna will be at, so that would be a good one to do live. She's going to be doing the DA portion.
Perfect.
But yeah, so I have 2 tables set up in the front of a room, and one table has all the color displayed beautifully. I own all the color. And then on the other table are our core product lines. So we have the Wellness and the RE9 and the Genius Ultra. And then I always put a little C-Source out because I love C-Source. And then I have like a bar stool in the middle, nice big wide space. And then I have all my little applicators and things all set out and ready to go. And then so what the room looks like is it's like classroom style. So each consultant can bring, like I said, 3 to 4 guests because it'd be really hard for them to help more than that. And they bring all their own makeup. If they lack something, they're more than welcome to come up and grab from my table. And whoever comes. Sometimes we'll have 3 people, sometimes we'll have 40 people, it just depends. But like I said, I never cancel. So people know that it's going to happen no matter what. And so then I open it up and I thank everybody for coming. And I started off with basically a DA. And it's a little shorter just to save on time because the makeup workshop itself can be very time consuming. But I talk about our flagship lines and I say, if you've hosted before, raise your hand. And then if, people do and whatever, and like, okay, and if you haven't hosted yet, then, this is going to be really great for you to learn not only about our flagship lines, but also about our color. And, you'll want to definitely be hosting after you're done with this awesome event. And so I walk them through the core products and then I talk about the Arbonne difference. I talk about having them just keep an open mind through the makeup presentation so that they can decide how they want to align themselves with Arbonne, because we're all about finding the fit. And so, and then I run through all the different ways that they can align themselves with Arbonne. And then I talk about the business right away. And so after I talk about, sure, you can buy retail out of the catalog if you want, but why do that when you can get everything on sale? We have an amazing preferred client opportunity. How many preferred clients do we have in the room? And I have people raise their hands so that people who aren't can see like, oh, that's like a thing people do, And then I explain what the preferred client opportunity enables them to have in their experience with Arbonne. I talk about, the Arbonne special value packs. I talk about it all. And I talk about hosting. I'm like, you're going to want to host because you get awesome hostess rewards. And I know you're going to want to get started with things right away tonight, but for that super long wish list, hosting is definitely the way to get your hands on everything. And then I dive into the business, and I talk about that. So, like those are all the different ways that you can align yourself. So as we move through the presentation, you can be thinking and opening your heart to which one of those is the best fit for you. And then I dive in and I welcome my model up to the front of the room. And I just, I say, okay, now here's all the color. I've been a makeup artist for 18 years and I've been using Arbonne exclusively in my professional kit for 12. And I have never wanted for anything. Arbonne has absolutely everything that you could ever want from a color line. I believe in this product 110%. And you do not have to be a makeup artist in order to start an Arbonne business. Makeup just happens to be my strength, so that's why I speak to it. But we're a community of people with strengths, so we all get to play off of one another and help lift up each other up. So I talk about that a little bit. I talk about it's beauty with benefit. So I just give the opener on the color, and then I dive in and I just say, you know, my goal is to have you be able to try a little bit of everything. And from there, you can decide what you'd like to incorporate into your daily routine. But I have a feeling you're going to want it all anyway. And so I start off with the primer. And what happens is we do it step by step. And so I talk about the primer, I apply the primer, and then each consultant helps each of their guests with the primer. So then it's very much a hands-on workshop. So then now everybody puts on the primer. And then I talk about all of our foundations. You know, it's like we have 3 different options for you. We have the CC cream. I explain that. I explain each. And then like now you can decide which one you'd like to try, and your consultant can help color match you. And, you know, I demo the application, how to apply each of them, the best ways. So we literally do that step by step. And I try to pick a different eye technique every time we do makeup. So depending on the season and the trends, you know, I do a little bit of homework before and make sure I'm giving them something that's on trend to do. And then to answer the question from Christine, yep, they have paperwork in front of them so they can jot down what they're using as they go. And so they can make that wish list, you know, and, you know, this time of year, we're all about wish lists and like, oh, you know, if you want to give me your significant other's phone number, you know, I can give them a tip, you know, as to what you'd really love to see, you know, under the tree Christmas morning, that kind of a thing. But yeah, we definitely give them, you know, a little wish list and, you know, catalog and whatnot so that they've got references throughout. So literally we walk through the whole color line that way. And it's really fun. It gets loud. They're having a great time, you know. But, you know, you're wrangling back in, you're like, okay, now let's move on to the mascara, you know. And so eyes can get a little tricky, you know, so you want to make sure people are getting the attention they need with the eyeliner and, you know, the different eyeshadow colors. It's really fun. And then at the very end, I thank them all again, and I remind them of all the ways that they can align themselves with Arbonne. I go through all the different ways again, and then we wrap it up, and then we take a group selfie because everybody looks beautiful. So we take a big group picture, we put that on social media, and it edifies the event, and it really just makes them feel like they're even that much more sparkly, you know, just it really is a really cool girls event. So I hope that helps. Does that kind of
Oh my goodness. Yes, I want to come. I'm going to drive over to one of yours.
Please do. That would be awesome. So yeah, it's
no, I would too. So thank you so much for describing that. And does anyone else have questions? I know Sarah said to answer someone's question. Sarah said she would give us a picture of her goodie bag.
Yeah, I will.
Tammy, I don't have a question, but very cool, Sarah, to have you share your makeup events. I do them also. And Tammy, there are makeup order forms and face charts.
Yeah, I have those.
We do those. We put them at everyone's seat too, so they can follow along and take notes, which is really cool.
Perfect.
Very cool.
I play and put makeup on people and stuff, but it's not, you know, I just tell them I'm not a professional. I'm just playing. But then, yeah, you write down the different products as you go. And yeah, I mean, it's so fun and people light up. That's my favorite part of Arbonne is watching people transform and just light up, you know, in a group event. So, well, yeah. Thank you so much. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. And it was I tell you what, Sarah, there is just something about the two of us. We are like right in alignment because everything you were saying, I was looking back on my notes from my devotional this morning, and it was like everything that I had read. So here are the 3 points from my devotional, which you covered each one, that we owe this message that we have in Arbonne to everyone. Like everyone needs to hear this, and we do. Once we get it inside of us, we just can't help but sharing. And that's exactly what you were saying, Sarah, is that success is within us, and it's also there's a shift that happens in your business when you take it from, you know, your own agenda to only caring about others and thinking about others. And that's exactly what you're doing with your gratitude bags. It's just no agenda, only love, only gratitude. Thank you so much for being part of my life in whatever shape or form. You decided, and that's a huge thing, that everything happens once we make that decision of no matter what, because guess what? life isn't perfect. There's never a perfect time to start your business. Just things keep coming at you, but you decide, and it's just this no matter what attitude. And you also talked about not being ashamed of what we have here, not being ashamed to speak up and just know that our dreams are worthy and that we need to speak with that confidence. And you know, that is so huge to me. I remember Cecilia Stoll talking about the fact that there are people in this world who will never ever be offered the opportunity of our bond, the one that we've been given. And here's the deal, that millions of people will be affected by what we do daily, and millions of people will be affected by what we don't do each day. And you just hit on that so perfectly, Sara. And I just appreciate you so much for sharing your genuine story and being honest and real with us. And we just love you. And I know every person on this call tonight, you guys, we're the next generation of MVPs, and we need to step up and act like it. We're the ones that are going to be the voices to carry this message around the world, and we just need to own it. We need to step up and be the leaders that we were called to be. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we love you, Sara, and we love all of you. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and just take this business and make it not about us, make it about every other person that we know and come in contact with. So love you so much, and yes, next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, shoot. Here, I just lost my. Oh, where'd you go? Hold on. I lost my screen there for a sec. Okay, there.
There was a question.